Hello and welcome back to another Flutter tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing how to auto-generate JSON models in Flutter. So let's start. So for this, we need some libraries. The JSON model will run a JSON Serializable and the JSON Annotation. So three of them are dev dependencies. Since we don't need those in the release builds, okay. So let me show the JSON that we are going to create the model. So you can get this from JSON placeholder.happycow.com. Okay, so here you can see a list of users. We have 10 user accounts. So we're going to create a model based on this. So let me copy one user. Now go to the project root folder and create a folder named JSONs. So this is a default folder, but you can have your own name as well. In that case, you need to specify that name when you run the command in the terminal. Okay, so paste it there in the user.json file, and let me open the terminal, and we need to run a command to generate the model. Okay, let me expand that and run flutter packages pub run JSON underscore model. So if you're running this command for the first time, you may get some error. Then you just need to rerun it. Okay, now it's done. So go back to the project folder and go to the lib folder. There you should see a new folder, models. So you can see that the user model has been generated. So you have the necessary functions as well. Okay. Now let's see the other file. So this is a generated code. We should not modify this code. Okay. So let me close that. And when you go to the user.json file, you can see that there are some nested JSON objects, the address. Okay, so we need to generate a model for address as well. So if you go to the user.dart file, so you can see that it's a string and a dynamic because it doesn't know what is inside. So let's create a model for address. So I am going to the JSON folder and create address.json and go to the user.json file and cut the object address and paste it in address.json. Okay, save it. Now the value will be $address. So that's a file name. Okay, so let's rerun the command. Okay, it's done. Now let's go to the models folder and you can see that the address model has been generated. Now if you go to index, you should see two imports, and so you can see that there is another nested object inside address. That's a geo. So it's a map string dynamic. So if you go to the user.dart, you can see that the address has been imported now. Okay, so now let's create a model for geo as well. Okay, so we need to go to the address.json file and cut the geo object, create a new file, geo.json, and paste it there. Okay, and the variable will be $geo. Okay, run the command. Okay, now it is done. Now let's go to the models folder and you can see that the geo model is created. Now if you go to address, you can see that the geo is imported. Now if we go to user.json, you can see that there is one more nested object, company. Let's create that company.json. So cut and paste the object here. Now go to company.json and paste it there, and change the variable to $company. Run the command again and wait for it to finish. Okay, done. Now let's check the models folder. So you can see that company model has been generated. And if you go to the user.dart, you can see both address and company. If you click on it, you can see the corresponding model. Okay. Now we know that it's a list of users, right? So you can see we have 10 records here. So it's a list of users. So we need to create a model for that as well. For that, I'm creating a new file. I'm going to name it users.json. Okay, and an object, users, and the value will be the list of users, right? So $array and user. So that's a file name. So we have a list of users here, right? Now let's run the command. Okay, successful. Go to the models folder. So you can see the users.dart file. So the member variable is the list of users. So there is our user model. So we have successfully generated models for all our JSON objects in that service. Now we are going to write a service to get the data. So we need the HTTP package. So I'll be providing the link in the description for all plugins. Okay. Create a new file, services.dart, where we will write the service. So import the necessary packages. We need the convert package, HTTP package, and the model classes, user.dart and users.dart, right? Now class services. Let's declare our URL. So static string URL is equal to, so that's our URL. Okay. Now we are going to write a method to get the users from this URL. So get users is going to return a future users. And if there is some error, we are going to print the error. And we are going to return an empty set of users. You can do whatever you want here. You can throw some error or... Okay. So get the response. So final response equal to http.getURL, and we're going to check the status code. If the status code is 200, we are going to parse the users, which will accept the response body as parameter. Else, we are going to return an empty set of users. Okay. Now let's write the function parse users. So static users. So it's going to return the users model. And the parameter is the response body. So final parsed is equal to, we're going to decode the response body and cast it to a map string and dynamic. Okay, now we got the list of JSONs. So list of users is equal to parse.map. So we are going to loop through the list of JSON and create the user, and finally convert that to a list. Okay. Create a new users object and assign the users and return it. Okay. Now let's go back to the main file and import the data sync services and the models. So we need the users. Okay. We need a variable to hold the users and another variable title. Now let's override the initiate method. And initialize the title to loading users and users to new users and call services.getUsers. Then let's name it users from server and assign the value to users and call setState. Okay, let's update the title as well. So let's set it with the title. So that's the title. Now let's create a list widget to show the list of users. So widget list and return expanded. And we are going to add the list view as a child of expanded. So list view.builder item count will be the length of users. So that's a list of users. And item builder will have the build context and the index. We need to return a list row here. So let's write a new function, row, widget row, and pass in the index. So we're going to return a card, child, with a padding of 10, and a column widget, which will have 3 children. The first one is a text, which will display the name in black color and a spacing. And third one is a text, which will display the email and the color will be gray. Okay. Now let's add the list to the UI. Okay, there we have our list. Now we will add a search text field on top of the list. Okay, so widget search text field, that's going to return a text field, and let's give some decoration. So input decoration and border, outline input border and border radius. So circular border radius, so radius of 5. Okay, let's set the property filled to true and give a fill color. So I'm going to give a white 60 and a content padding of 15. Hint text, let's say filter by name or email. Okay, let's add the onChange property of the text field. So that will have the parameter a string, so whatever the user types. Add the text field to the UI, give some spacing. Okay, run the app. Now we have our text field. Now let's write some functions and classes to start searching on the list when the user types something on the text field. So we'll be starting the search when the user actually stops after typing something in the text field. Okay, so let's write a new class, debouncer, which will accept milliseconds and a callback and a timer. So the constructor will accept milliseconds and a run method that's going to have the action as parameter. And if the timer is not null, we're going to cancel it. So we'll be canceling the timer if the user types within that time frame, and we will create a new timer with the duration milliseconds, and the second parameter is the callback, so that will be action. Okay, now let's create a new variable, final debouncer is equal to new debouncer. Let's pass in 5000, that's 5 seconds. So when the user stops for 5 seconds, we'll start searching. Okay, now let's go to the onChange method of the text field and call debouncer.run and the callback. In the callback, we'll be calling the service again and searching in the result. Okay, so change the title to searching and call the service and get the data again. Okay, now we need to search in this response, so we'll be writing a new function. I'm going to write the function to filter the users in the users model itself. You can write it anywhere you want. So static users filter list, and that's going to accept users and the filter string. Create a temporary users and assign the users to it. Now we are going to loop through the users and find the matching users. Okay, so list of users is equal to temp_users.users.where, and we are going to loop through it, and we need to search for name and email, right? So user.name to lowercase dot contains filter string, and we have to do the same thing for email as well. Copy and paste it again, change that to email. Now we have the filtered users, so assign the users property to the new users and return it. Okay, go back to the main file, call the function filter list and update the users variable. So users.filterList, users from server and string. Okay, and change the title to the previous one. Okay, restart the app. Let's try filtering. So when I stop, it will wait for 5 seconds and then it will start searching. Okay, so it's working, but the title is not updating to searching. So let's fix that. I think let's change the timing to 1 second, and the title, okay, it's widget.title, change that to title. Okay, restart the app. Okay, now it will start searching after 1 second when the user stops typing. Let's try something else. Okay, Irwin. Okay, it's working. Perfect. In this way, we are not searching on every keystroke of the user, so we are putting less burden on both the device and the server. So that's an efficient way of searching. Okay, so that's all in this video. Hope everyone understood how to automatically generate JSON models in Flutter, creating a filter on a list and do a delay searching. If my video is helpful, please give me a thumbs up and share it. Hit the bell icon for notifications when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Until then, bye.